It's Saturday morning. What do you expect from me? You guys expect so much from me all the time.
We made it one show.
What are you
One
talking-
show.
It's Caden's fault.
That's throwing people under the bus.
Yep. Second show for Caden.
Already.
You have
Yeah,
to forgive
Matt,
Caden.
mute. Yes, Matt.
Matt,
Everything.
don't start already, Matt. It's like one
New
two
season,
games
same
in.
problems. Same problems. Come on, Jamie. Exactly. Good morning, everybody. So great to see you here
Matt, you're
this
bad for
morning.
the show.
I hope all of you are wide awake and ready to go. Jamie obviously isn't yet.
Caden,
but-
you're not supposed to post that either. Like we heard Matt give it to us already. So we don't need to keep digging the knife in my back even further. 2 shows in. Great career for you, Caden.
Welcome everybody to another edition of Check-In, game 2
Yeah.
of 82. This is obviously going to be a very, very long season, if this is any indication. Looking forward to getting you set for today's game against the LA Kings. It is an early start here, hence the 9:30 start for us. It is a 12:30 puck drop for the Winnipeg Jets as they kick off a day of hockey that has all 32 teams playing.
Right, and then lots of people are ripping the National Hockey League for no games on Friday, but we'll forgive them because there's 16 of them today. So starting with the Winnipeg Jets and the Los Angeles Kings. Jets, of course, coming off that 5-4 loss to the Dallas Stars in their season and home opener. But the best part of it, it looked bleak there when it was 5-1. And then Morgan Barron started the bell rolling with a shorthanded goal. Kyle Connor followed it up, and Casey ends up with a hat trick. Fresh off the new contract. So if anybody's, we've heard people play or say after players sign new contracts, they try to make it all worth it that first night. Casey did it.
Well, and you had to think with the season opener anyways, Kyle Connor's pretty much money to make it onto the score sheet. That was his 8th straight season opening game in which he had
Scored a goal.
So, I mean, if you want, I don't bet, but if I did, that would have been pretty much what seems like a surefire one. But you mentioned, down 5-1 at one point. And I was actually talking to a friend yesterday, and she and her daughter had come to the game, mother-daughter note, and she said at 5-1, when the Jets went down, when the penalty happened, just before the Morgan Barron goal, she said, "Okay, we have to go. Let's go."
Really?
Well, she said
there was lots of time left.
And that's what her daughter said is a very sore subject.
Yeah.
But she said, "Oh, we've got to get gas. We've got a tournament tomorrow. We got to pack. We got all sorts of stuff like that."
Yeah.
She said by the time they made it to the car, 5-3. Needless to say, not a popular mother. By the time they started driving down Portage Avenue, 5-4. And she said, all I kept thinking was, please don't let Jonathan Toews play because otherwise my daughter will never speak to me again.
Right.
But certainly another example, we always say, you never leave a game early. You certainly don't leave a game early when the Winnipeg Jets are playing. Didn't come up with the 2 points, but you definitely saw some aspects that they can build upon for this game here today.
Yeah, they gave up 37 shots, 5 goals.
Yep.
And that was so unlike the Winnipeg Jets.
Yes.
Scott Arniel addressed that afterwards. But, we have to put this in perspective. There are some key components missing from the lineup, but there's also a lot of new line combinations and
100%.
New players in the roster learning the structure and the system. And you heard Scott Arniel say it yesterday. He wished he could play everybody in the 6 preseason games. So you get everybody up to speed, but that is not how it works. We obviously see what happens when you play in the preseason. Some bad things happen every once in a while.
Yeah.
So you can understand why he wants to protect his star players. So that's not how it works. But at the same time, they got back to practice yesterday, watched a lot of film, and
lots of teaching going on. Is what he said.
I'm pretty sure we will not see those type of opportunities given up by the Winnipeg Jets here today against the Los Angeles Kings. Another positive outside, the penalty kill was good. They went 4 for 5, got 2 shorthanded goals.
Yep.
It was Jonathan Toews' debut. So let's take a look and hear what he had to say, along with his teammate and Scott Arniel, about his Winnipeg Jet debut that came Thursday night.
A lot of room for improvement, a lot of little things I can do better. Definitely trying to start the play with the puck off the faceoffs, and didn't really get that going for my line out there, but other than that, there were some situations where the 3 of us created and had some chances, and even on the power play as well. So I was pretty close to making things happen and getting us on the board as well. And so I think there's some positives that I'm excited about. So just keep trying to build on it.
He's going to be growing every game. He showed spurts of it. He's such a cerebral player. He had a great chance in the second coming down there, and Obviously he's the type of player that's kicking himself. He thinks he can bury on all those, and you see it though. He's growing, and not only on the ice but in the locker room. He's a constant presence for us. He's great, and he's helping along. Obviously, he's with some new line mates, Chibrikov over there, and you could just see he's talking to him constantly and helping guys along.
He's like a lot of our group. It took a while to get going early on, and I thought I saw changes in his game in that second period. He started to have the puck a little bit more, had some looks. Their line started to do some things, but at the end of the day, our whole group. It's a tough one because our whole group wasn't good, and for him, I certainly would like to have been a better first game, but like I said. With Jonathan, it's all every day's a new day, and it just continued to get better each and every day.
I thought Darren Dreger was great about talking about how long it's going to take Jonathan Toews to kind of get into the swing of things, and speaking with enough people, they're thinking about November, where everything gets back up to speed, and I think that's pretty expected because of how long he's been away from the game. And then just what he had to deal with in that. So, but I liked a lot of things I saw from Jonathan Toews, and already there's been some mixing with the lines.
Yep.
So, Caden, please bring us up what we will see here this afternoon. We think so. Allegedly,
we don't know for sure. Obviously, with this being a 12:30 start, there is no morning skate. So this is going based off of practice yesterday that they had, which is how the third period ended in terms of the line. So you'll notice that there's some changes to that second line. Alex Iafallo playing up with Toews and Chibrikov, and then Gus Nyquist down with Nemesnikov. Now he did play. Gus and Nemesnikov did play during the preseason together a bit as well. So that's the change that we are expecting to see. We will, if things don't get off to a good start, then don't be surprised to see Scott or Neil mix those lines up a little bit again. But one of the things that he talked about after the game was, their details, obviously, and you mentioned it right off the top, the details that we've come to expect from the Jets, the way that they have been able to be tidy and kind of excel in all three zones.
Yes.
We didn't see in that. And it was something in particular that Scott talked about was entries. And he said that Dallas had scored 3 goals off of entries.
Yeah.
That's not us. And, the work ethic, the compete, that's their DNA. But to have trouble with being able to contain those entries, that's not something that we typically see from Winnipeg.
Yeah. Then, we got spoiled. We have been for the last couple of years, how well this team defends. And a lot of that does have to do with Dallas. Like Mikko Rantanen was a man possessed again.
Yes.
And then managed to get the Jets to take 3 consecutive penalties against them as well. So a lot of, the momentum that you need, the consistency in your 5-on-5 game, pretty hard to do when you're killing penalties as much as they did through the last part of the second period and certainly into the third. So I know we touched on how good the PK was, but that doesn't allow you to get into a roll. And hopefully they stay out of the box here this afternoon and allow those lines to get used to one another. And speaking with Morgan Barron yesterday, they only played him and Cole Koepke and Tanner Pearson only played 1 game together in the preseason. So that was their second game together. Thought they played pretty well. And he said there's another place to go, another level, obviously, with that trio.
I love seeing so many people in the comments. And it's funny now that there is a Jonathan Toews here, JT, as people are abbreviating it to on the chat. When I think JT, I naturally think you.
Right.
So when people said, Natalie here, I've got patience for JT to work off the rust. I thought she was perhaps referring to the top of the show. No. Mary
Thank you, Natalie.
Be patient, JT.
Yeah.
And the boys will get it together.
Thank you.
Talking about Toews, we think.
No.
Again, my first thought was to you.
They're like being patient with working with you. That's all it was. Thank you, everybody, for your support. She's a challenge every time we do this show.
Yeah, I think that was the big takeaway that everyone had. We're looking forward. We're going to have Daryl Evans join us in just a few minutes. Long-time broadcaster with the LA Kings. Nobody has better suits than Daryl Evans in the NHL. Absolutely. And so to talk a little bit about the Kings and what's been going on with them, this will be their 3rd game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Have already played. They played Colorado. It was a 4-1 loss.
And then Vegas.
Yeah, and they won in a shootout 6-5. So 3rd game of the season for LA. LA was a team that the Jets struggled with in the regular season to be able to. We love you.
He's talking about Jonathan Toews.
So,
yes. Yeah.
He is second.
Yeah.
Jonathan Toews is second on the list of JTs.
At least on this show. Until he comes on our show, then we'll talk about it.
that'll be our jumping off point for but the LA Kings, the team that the Jets struggled with last season in terms of
lots
the
of teams struggle with the Kings.
Absolutely. And you think so this was a team that, for made it to the playoffs again. Made it.
Who did they end up facing in the first round again?
You just, you got to feel for them for all the success that they had last season. And they were such a hard out. They run up against the Edmonton Oilers, and they have the Oilers have
a 2-0 lead.
The undoing of the LA Kings when it comes to the postseason. But we will talk to Daryl about that. Obviously, this is the final season. We already know Francois Kopitar, what an amazing job he has done in LA over the 20 years that he has been there, and just a staple.
Of all the times you've dealt with him over your years at TSN, how great was he?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, just a complete class act. And I think that it's, I think that we'll see when you look at the contracts that the Jets have signed recently, that we'll see hopefully a number of Jets that will have spent their entire career within this organization. You don't see it, as we all know, across professional sports, period. You don't see it as often anymore. So I think that there's something very special about a player that has been able to be around, not only with the longevity and the impact that Kopitar has had on the ice and off, but then also to be able to do it with one organization. He's just been the face of that franchise and the stabling kind of backbone of it for so many years.
Yeah, and I mean, whenever Winnipeg goes up against the Los Angeles Kings, you're always gritting your teeth because Anze Kopitar scores again, but he's a hard guy to dislike. And there's not many guys like that in the league with the class and how well he does it. And I really like how he made the announcement earlier in the year. Then there's like, no, is this your last year? This is your last year,
right?
All that stuff. So I really like how he did that. So really like this next gentleman who we bring into the show, and he's been on the show before. So is that friend of the show status when you've done this twice?
Of course.
Yeah. Or does he already have it beforehand?
I mean, we're friendly Manitobans. You naturally are just a friend of the show anyways.
Yeah, true. That's a very good point. So please welcome into the show Daryl Evans, analyst for the Kings, former Los Angeles King. Oh, there he is, all ready to go. It's 9:42. He heard Sara talking about his suit, so he's like, I got to get dressed real fast. He pulls it off. So, man, like, there's so many talents that you have, Daryl, but getting dressed fast is your number one skill. So congratulations on pulling it off again.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here today, Daryl, and loving the bow tie. It might be, I don't know if this was any debate for you, but a 12:30 game is one of those ones when you're trying to decide what you're going to wear on air. For me, I'm like, do you go a little bit more casual? Because it's 12:30. Bow tie works any time of day. I love it.
Let's start things. Obviously dressed up very classy. Speaking of classy, is Anze Kopitar. You've been with him the whole time, Daryl. What can you say about Anze, about the retirement this year and just everything he has done for the city of Los Angeles and the Kings organization?
As good of a player as he is, he's probably a better person. Just a great ambassador to our city, the game of hockey. Representing his country as the first Slovenian to play in the National Hockey League. There's so many great stories behind it, but the way he's conducted himself from day one and through to today, with the consistency, it's just been unbelievable. I remember in his first couple of years as he was breaking his way into the league, some of the goals that he scored, but he's always been such a humble individual, and he's been able to make everybody that he's played with a better player. So anybody that's had the great fortune of either talking to him, cross paths with him, you're a better person for it.
You got to love a player that is not only able to contribute itself, but a true testament is obviously those that can make the players around them better as well and help them elevate their game. Before you came on, Daryl, we were talking about how, the success that the Kings have had. They were such a hard out for the Jets last year during the regular season, like they were for so many teams. But for all of the success that they had last year, it still ends in the disappointment when going up against the Edmonton Oilers in the postseason. What are you expecting from this Kings team this season?
Well, you go back to last year, and you'll never convince me any other way. The Kings beat themselves last year. The Oilers didn't beat them. Kings had that series, and they let it slip away. I think when Ken Holland came on board, he looked at a couple of things. Obviously, knowing the Oilers and the Kings teams pretty good, he looked at things and figured out what he might need and what might be difference in a series. So they got a little bit bigger, they got heavier, they added experience, and they added depth. And I think that's one of the things that really has hurt the Kings the last couple of years, is not having that depth, that fourth line. And when the Kings had their, when they had their success back in the heyday, they had four lines. They wore teams down, and they had to get back to that. So the players that they added size, depth, and experience. Dumoulin with a couple of cups, Corey Perry with a cup, Cece, a lot of playoff experience. So, yet we've yet to see Corey Perry in the lineup, but I know he'll have an impact when he gets here. So this is a deeper team, and I think it'll help the grow the environment for the young guys like Turcotte, Brant Clark, even Byfield. These guys, they can get their game to the next level, will make this team that much more difficult to play against.
You mentioned that fourth line, and easily we'll see adjustments as some of the players get healthier, and I'm not quite sure where you're expecting Corey Perry to slot in when he is able to return to the lineup. But one of the players I wanted to ask about was Jeff Malott, just early on, a couple games into the season. Obviously, he's a name that people in this market know from his time in particular with the Manitoba Moose. What have you seen from him just very early on in this season in terms of trying to make a contribution with the Kings?
Well, last year he had a taste, and I think he really enjoyed playing in the National Hockey League. Mm-hmm. And I also think he got a pretty good understanding that how good you have to be and how consistent you have to be. And a credit to him, the work that he put in the offseason. He did an unbelievable job at getting himself prepared physically and mentally, and it showed the first day he stepped on the ice in training camp. And he's not taking his foot off the gas. So to see a guy like that come in, scores first goal the other night in Las Vegas, it was great. But his teammates love him. He sticks up for his teammates. And in the first couple of games here, he's been one of the consistent guys for the Kings and giving the coaches what they need each and every shift when he's out there.
Daryl, as we know, the business that we work in is pretty brutal sometimes. John Kelly released from St. Louis, but the beneficiaries of this whole thing are LA Kings fans. Can you speak to how great of a person John is and how nice it will have him on board this year with you guys in the LA Kings broadcasts?
Yeah, it's been great getting to know him, on a more personal note. When we played against him, obviously, in St. Louis for all those years, a lot of respect for him for the incredible work that he did. I always had good conversation with him, prior to games, in between periods and things like that from time to time. But now that he's on board, I think he really fills a big void for the Kings, bringing that experience. He knows the league, knows the West Conference very well. So I think the Kings fans so far are the ones that, have had a chance. Obviously, we haven't had a regular season game with him, but in the preseason they got a chance to hear him. They really enjoyed with the way that he delivered things, and I think it's only going to get better as he gets to know the personalities on our team. But we're very happy and to have him on board, and our group does a great job at welcoming new personnel, and he's going to fit right in.
Daryl, I gotta ask a question. So the suit thing that you have going on, was this your thing during your time in the National Hockey League as well? Like, were you well known for your dressing?
I don't know if I was as much well known back then. I mean, back in the day when I played, we were wearing leather pants, skinny ties, and that kind of stuff. A fedora and all that kind. Although fedoras have come back, but so it's kind of changed a little bit. But I don't know. I've always liked to get dressed. I think it probably goes back to, family didn't have a lot of money growing up. And I remember when I got my first suit and how proud I was to have that suit. It was a 3-piece suit and I felt really proud wearing it. So I think it's just something that makes me feel good. And, then when you get into the patterns and all that kind of stuff, I think it's just an extension of my personality. I'm pretty lively. I got a lot of energy, and I think my suits come, some of them, you think they might be plugged in, but there's a lot to them as well.
So quickly before I let you go, I worked with Charlie Simmer at Sportsnet for a while on Flames broadcast. He would not tell me a single story about anything in Los Angeles. So the next time we bring you on, we're going to start digging deep into this stuff. The leather pants and everything like that. I got to know more about this. And I'm sure our viewers do as well. So, Daryl, as always, loved having you on. Thank you so much, and good luck the rest of the season.
All right, you guys keep up the great work, and best of luck to you. Travel safe, and we'll look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Appreciate it so much, Daryl.
Bye, Sarah.
Daryl Evans.
One of the great guys, but one of the great personalities in this game as well.
Like that, I watched the broadcast simply alone. Like, Kings are fun to watch.
Yeah.
I remember Daryl many times when the Oilers and Kings got together in the 80s. There were some great games with him involved in that one as well. So I'm, again, worked with Charlie Simmer for many years. Never told me one story about you. So no, not telling you anything about time in LA.
It's when you know the book.
Yeah.
The book would be good.
Who did we have on talking about Halloween? I'm trying to remember which guest that was.
Oh,
It'll come to me.
Gary Gelly.
Gary Galley.
Yes.
That's what I want.
All right. Natalie, pink shirts and skinny black leather ties. The 80s can keep that look. Won't ever forget it. Do you know that I remember being in grade 1 and having a Velcro tie.
Yeah.
A skinny leather tie.
I had one of my first jobs was at Randy River, and we wore bolo. That's when bolo ties came out.
Yep.
Had a few bolo ties.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, please bring that back.
And I had a mustard shirt too, mustard dress shirt.
You know what? What are we at here? 33 likes, hearts.
Yeah.
If we can get to 100.
Stop it.
If we can get to 100, folks.
Okay,
bolo.
I'll wear a bolo tie. So
just saying.
I'm glad Sarah's like more than happy to sacrifice me.
100%.
Yes.
The bus, I'll drive it forward over him.
Oof.
Backwards,
You
forward again.
Like, the bus is on me right now. Never mind.
So the first 2 games for the Jets being here at Canada Life Center, they then head out on the road for a couple. They head out east. They've got the Islanders on Monday. Obviously, that is in Canada. It's Thanksgiving. But is it Columbus in the States? It is an early game.
I believe so.
As well there. So we are going to come on at 10:30 on Monday. So make sure that you set your reminders for that as we get you set for that game. We'll have one of the guys, Mitch or Paulie, join us to help us set up that game. Then the Jets are in Philadelphia. They come home for 1 against Nashville, and then they go to Calgary. So 3 out of their next 4 games are on the road after today.
What are you hoping for from today? One thing I did hear, there was a consistency yesterday. The question was asked about how your routine changes for 12:30 game, and to a player and coach said they love the afternoon games because they don't have to think about the game all day. They can just get up, have breakfast, and come to the rink.
Yeah.
We feel the same way.
Oh, we absolutely do. I like being able to be home for dinner. Sometimes I could use a little bit more time, a little bit of extra prep time, but no, by and large, a big fan of these early games. To be able to get going. One thing that I'm interested in seeing with both of these teams, actually, and obviously 1 game, 2 games is not a sample size that you can really base anything off of, but we obviously saw that the second period was very significant for the Jets in terms of the score and the way that things kind of changed a little bit in the first game. So what I'm looking forward to seeing this game is how do both teams, the LA Kings and the Jets, respond in the second period.
Well, I just look at with LA, they had a hard time scoring in game 1 against Colorado in their home opener.
Yeah.
And then they scored plenty in Vegas.
Yeah.
If you're scoring that many, 5, I believe it was, you want to win the game.
Yeah.
So they don't come out that way. So LA will have something going for them here. And then the Jets, how do you improve upon your defensive structure that was lagging a little bit, albeit because ran into penalty problems.
Yeah.
And I remember Kelly Moore asking after the game on Thursday night about to Kyle Connor when they let that 5-on-3 goal, when they were almost out of it.
Yeah.
They almost killed off the 5-on-3. They give up late. Was there a sag? And Kyle said there was a little bit because remember they added 2 goals more after that to make it 5-1.
Yeah.
There was definitely a lag after that. So again, stay out of the penalty box. Also, 5-on-5 structure has to be a little bit better. And obviously, there's a lot of places to go up, and there's enough veteran presence in that room that they'll improve upon this for sure.
I think that when you look at the start that they had last season, winning 14 of their first 15 games.
8-0 start.
I mean, you set NHL records. Obviously, that played a significant role. I think that with all of the changes that we have seen, even though the core is together, yes, as you mentioned, we are seeing new lines. There are significant faces that are out of the lineup right now. No Cole Perfetti, no Adam Lowry, no Dylan Sandberg, as well as Nikolai Ehlers is gone. So there are many changes. So I think it's understandable, especially because of the way that the preseason had to work out in terms of there be injuries. Jonathan Toews didn't play and all of them, that there is still going to be a little bit of a feeling out process that's going on as they start to get that chemistry going.
And how about, Nikita Chibrikov up in the top 6 and in the season opener. But I like how Kyle Connor pointed out, you see Jonathan Toews constantly talking to Nikita Chibrikov. There's that presence, there's that veteran leadership that you've added to the dressing room. So the points might not have been there. And I think of the scoring chance that he had in the second period. He said he saw the top corner. And it was a great pass from Chibrikov. So he comes right up the middle and fires it over top of the net. And then Kyle Connor talks about, that's going to bug him. So you know, he's getting to that point, but you just see for small stretches that game what they were getting and what they were hoping for when they signed Jonathan Toews that free agent contract.
Yeah, and across the board, certainly what we came to know about this Jets team from last season was that they were never out of it.
Yeah.
So you never had in previous years, and I think you and I probably talked about this many times last season. I'm sure that many of the fans watching felt this way as well, that in previous seasons, if they got down,
Yeah,
you could see the sag and you could kind of feel the, oh no,
Yeah.
I know how this is going to end. Last season, even if it was the third period
Yes.
and you're down, you know, 5-1 is a lot, but if you're down 3-1 or 4-1, that you look and go, okay, well, they're not out of it.
no,
Because they always had that resiliency and they had that push for it, which I think is the earmark of a strong team, and
Right.
they continue to build upon it. So we saw that again in the third period. Obviously, not the result. It was too little, too late.
yeah.
But certainly there were positives there.
Another thing that was pointed out by Morgan Barron yesterday about with regards to matinee games, he has said that when COVID was at its peak and they were doing those COVID games, he said every game they played in Hartford was a matinee game.
Oh,
Yeah. Can you imagine? So obviously because of COVID and everything like that, they had to fix things around there. But
Yeah.
I found that very interesting little fact that Morgan Barron dropped on us yesterday. Thank you,
right.
Drew. Appreciate that. Should we-
Very quickly, before we show that, do we have the LA Kings what the projected lines are supposed to be?
I believe we had it loaded in there somewhere.
So
and
let's see. We'll take a look, and if it does pop up.
I will say this, Quinn Byfield, there was a stretch there where there was a lot of questions and people concerned about if he was going to live up to the expectations. He is a beast.
Yeah.
And he centers that second line with Kevin Fiala and Alexis Laferriere. But he is a handful. So you just think of up the middle. LA has always been, this has been a strength of theirs for years.
Yeah.
Kopitar, Byfield, and Philip Deneau has been unreal since he came over from Montreal. A lot of veteran players. Trevor Moore's been around a long time, former Winnipeg Jet. Joel Armia, another former Jet, and there's Jeff Malott. So a veteran, much like Winnipeg, a lot of veteran presence up front.
Yeah, and as Daryl mentioned, I mean, I had to be honest, until I was going through all of my season previews, I forgot that Corey Perry had
I did
signed with the Kings. So after spending, you know, most of his career or so much of his career with the Ducks, that just moves up the interstate and is with the LA Kings now. So really rounding out, maybe he'll finish his career in San Jose and just check off all the boxes. He is not in the lineup. He's sidelined right now though, but certainly there is some more veteran leadership that will come into play.
What do we got here?
Oh, okay. So this is our promo, the feature of the game.
So it comes with it, like,
always like to point this out. I'm going to see if I can find
the
the
thing.
exact
So why
details.
don't you do that? I'll just keep pulling stuff out of the box. So obviously a limited edition. I was told by Rishi at Jet Skier not to wear these shoes.
Under no circumstances.
That's what it was. Under no circumstances would I wear these shoes. So I don't even know if I'm allowed to touch them, but these are nice.
They are. So they are the limited edition Mondata TN1 high top sneakers. So you take a look around. Very nice. You're a sneaker guy, aren't you?
No.
Oh.
Isn't
I love sneakers.
that's just like not in the budget anymore.
Oh.
But I wanted a pair of Air Jordans, never got one. Mom and Dad, thank you.
But they are individually numbered limited high tops, feature amazing team details, make a great addition to your wardrobe or collection. Available in the main concourse store. Check them out at any of our Jet Skier booths located throughout the concourse. You can leave online and in the Jet Skier stores as well.
Make sure you come down here. We'll let you try them on.
Yeah.
See if that's what you want to do. What are they? They're like pretty. It's a good price on them.
For it. Again, all 32 teams in action today. The Winnipeg Jets, the LA Kings, kicking it off. It is an afternoon game here at Canada Life Center. If you are coming down, we hope to see you down here in short order.
Yeah.
If not, the game is on TSN. You can listen to it as always as well on the radio dial.
680. Yeah. And Power 97.
Yeah. With Paul Edmonds and Mitchell Clinton. Pregame show on TSN gets going at noon today. So it should be a great one here. The Jets closing out their first two games here at home, looking to bounce back after the loss the other night against against the Dallas Stars. And, with the struggles that they had against the Kings last year, it'd be great if they were able to just already check that box.
Yeah.
Game 2.
Get that one out of the way.
Exactly.
A much better effort coming up. Well, not so much effort, but probably performance in terms of defensive structure, like we've talked about many times here already. We'll have an early show for you again on Monday.
Yep.
Thanksgiving Monday, but it will not be as early as this one because most of you will be at home, hopefully, enjoying Thanksgiving.
So you want to be at home earlier. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really what it comes down to again.
It's 10:30. It's not that early.
10:30. So so make sure that you set your reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Hit subscribe.
Don't
hit
worry,
that like button.
We'll send it out.
Right now,
There's only
we're
47.
at 47. So he is saved at the moment.
There's no flashback to Randy River ever again. Ever.
So we thank so much all of you for joining us right now. I hope you all have a wonderful, whether you are, maybe if you're having Thanksgiving on Sunday, maybe you're having it on Monday. We hope that you enjoy it. I'm going to have it on Sunday.
Are you?
Yeah.
Us as well.
Okay.
No turkey though.
No?
No.
Oh.
No way, man. We got that chocolate swirl cheesecake coming from Costco. Let's go. With some free advertising as well in there. Maybe you'll want to sponsor our show. It's up to you, Costco.
Oh, Jamie is more of a flip-flops kind of guy. No, he's not that either. No. Game gets going. We will see you.
Why flip-flops?
I don't know. That's what they think of you.
You ever notice how much people rag on me on this show? Like
Yes.
it's
It's pretty much a pastime for all of us.
I got a
So-
boss over there laughing at all the thing like this.
Anyways,
Tony's dead.
we always love to have so many of you join us, and we love to have you in the chat as well. We hope that you will stop by on Monday and make sure that you check in with us at 10:30 as we get you set for that game when the Jets are playing the New York Islanders.
Enjoy the Jets and Kings, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks so much for checking in.